Hello all. Just want to put a video together. I mentioned in my first video, for those who've seen it, that I had a run-in with Peterson's customer services, and hopefully I think my faith in Peterson may well be restored. But to make a long story long, because it is quite a tale, and back in January of this year I bought a Peterson pipe, and I bought this Peterson pipe, which is a Kildare 80S with a silver band. Very nice looking pipe, beautiful to hold, lovely grain, and I bought it for a specific reason. I actually bought it because I got a new job after being unemployed for a while. So, you know, pipe smokers often get pipes for specific occasions, be it birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas or whatever. So it was bought for a specific reason. Nothing great, but it was a reason for me. But as time went on and I was smoking it, everything I smoked in it tasted exactly the same. Doesn't matter what it was. It was always getting a bland smoke on it. Now, couldn't put my finger on anything in particular. And the only thing that was sort of really different was on the P-lip. It often felt quite a large button on the top whenever it was in my mouth. So I thought, what if I get it changed for a fishtail? So I contacted Peterson on their website and asked the question. Explained, you know, it just doesn't seem to smoke right for me. Do you do a fishtail mouthpiece for it? Got a nice reply back straight away saying, send it to us, we'll check it out. If it's within their 90-day warranty, so if there's a manufacturing fault and discovered within the 90 days, they will replace the pipe. But send it back and have a look. If it's okay, they'll put a mouthpiece on for me. Fair enough. So I sent that off. Now that was second week of March. So away it went. And 3 weeks later I hadn't heard anything back, which might not be anything unusual. But all I did was ask the question. You know, not sure what the process is. Haven't heard anything, so, you know, if you could tell me what the process is, I'd be grateful. Now, their first stumbling block for me was they said, your pipe is due for dispatch next week, and the accounts department will be in touch regarding the cost of the new mouthpiece. Okay, 3 weeks on, not bad at all. So I waited, and waited, and waited, and the whole of April came and went. Second week into May, and I'd had enough. Contacted them again and thought, well, where's me pipe? Tell you what, let's call it quits, just send it back. Not bother about the mouthpiece, just want me pipe back. So I get an email back to say that pipes that I would sent for repair go to the back of the queue based on their normal production. And at this stage in the game they had a lot of orders to go worldwide, and pipe repairs, etc. get just shoved into a queue, and when they get time they get done. So I emailed back and said, well, fair enough, but based on that criteria, you could wait a hell of a long time. So just give me pipe back, please, thank you. But miraculously, a couple of days later, I get an email to say my pipe has been repaired, and it's going to cost €25, which is about 20 quid, £20, if I want it returned. Not a bad price, etc. So, you know, I'm reasonably happy in that sense. But I'm still a little bit pissed off because here don't tell me 3 weeks in it's ready, and B, miraculously when I ask for it back it's automatically repaired. So me being cynical. Anyway, there was a delay in getting the paper back, which was my fault, so we'll take that 2 weeks out of the equation. Now, when I did get my paper back with my new fishtail mouthpiece, which is here, and here it is, stamped, and there it is there. However, when I received it, the new mouthpiece didn't fit flush with the shank. When you, doesn't matter how much you pushed them both together, there was daylight. The silver band had been scratched and scored and burnt around all four sides. It's very hard to see on this camera. You may be able to see some of it. But when metal gets burnt, it goes that purpley sort of a colour, which it has, and if you actually run your nail through it, you can actually feel the scratch and scrape marks within the silver. Not a happy bunny. So I sent them an email off and told them how disgusted I was that this has happened. I then get an email back to say, give me your phone number because they want one of the managers to give me a ring, which he does. The factory manager phones me. And he then explains that the fitting of a new mouthpiece obviously does involve a lot of buffing, etc., which is fair comment. However, it does damage the silver work, which nobody told me about this, and perhaps they need to explain that part of it. However, he did sort of say that wasn't really an excuse and perhaps they should have buffed it out a bit more, which perhaps they should have just buffed it out. But anyway, I did ask the question, do they fit the mouthpiece to the pipe, or do they fit the pipe to the mouthpiece? And he said they fit the mouthpiece to the pipe. But as I said to him, they haven't. What they've actually done is fit the pipe to the mouthpiece, because this is the old P-lip stem, which, as you can see, just slots in and is so loose that even if I wanted to put it on, I couldn't really, because it's just going to come apart. And I explained to him why I bought the pipe in the first instance, to which he then sort of says, well, okay, yeah, we don't like unhappy customers, so what if I send you a new pipe? May not be the same pipe, we'll try and give you the same shape, which is the ATS, and as I said, well, okay, fair enough, that's as long as it's silver banded, because this one is. And today this arrived. Now, I haven't opened it, it's still sealed, so let's have a little look. Ooh. It is an ATS. I don't think you can see because of the light, but it says flame grain ATS fishtail. Wow. With a fishtail as requested, because essentially that was the extra that I paid for. and the size in comparison of the bowl, and as you can see the grain on that, is somewhat bigger, to say the least. Now that is a really nice pipe. Wow. So, am I now a satisfied customer? Yes, I am. So to Mr. Peterson, and to everybody at Peterson's, thank you. Now obviously this was my own experience of this, and not everybody goes through that. I'm sure there's very many satisfied customers who send their pipe to Peterson and it comes back without any of these issues or problems. So that was mine, and this evening obviously you know what I'll be smoking. That is really, really nice. Absolutely beautiful. And it is silver, and it is stamped. Peterson's of Dublin, flame grain. So, there you go. I'm away to smoke a pipe, so I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching.